Hey everyone, really excited tonight. Chef Barbaro from the Multifamily Chefs doing chicken marsala. One of my favorite dishes. This is the first dish my dad taught me how to cook when I was like 10, 11 years old at the restaurant. This is a Gino Trattoria secret recipe chicken marsala. Alright, so I skipped a step. So if you're going to pan down and look down over here now, I sauteed your chicken and veal, and I did it over here and I took it out and I'm going to dump out the oil. At the end of this video is the written recipe and also how I prepared the chicken, how I pounded the chicken out, the veal, and dipped it in flour, sauteed it in oil. We want these scrapings. I'm going to dump out the oil and start the dish now. Okay, so it's hot. Raise our heat a little bit. Let's dump out this oil. See that? And we want all these scrapings here to thicken up the sauce. We're going to use, I'm going to show you how three ways: cornstarch, flour, or my brown sauce. At the restaurant, you use the veal stock demi-glaze, which you guys are not going to have, so you can cheat and use a turkey gravy, or you can use cornstarch. I'll get into that step. So once again, now you're supposed to add some butter before you do the mushrooms. I'm not going to do butter, I'm going to do extra virgin olive oil, just a little bit more oil. There's some oil in there. Alright, we're going to add our mushrooms. I cut these up. I also, at the end of the video, it's showing you how to cut up the mushrooms. And by the way, use a big enough pan. You don't want to crowd the mushrooms. You want to saute them. You don't want to really steam them. Okay? So while the mushrooms are cooking, we can add some parsley. Parsley's not really for flavor. It's a garnish. It makes it look really nice. We're going to add a little bit of salt. And not too much, because your chicken stock, I usually use a homemade chicken stock, but I'm using an organic store-bought. A little bit of black pepper. Now I want to show you the ingredients. If you come up over here. So this dish, all it is Marsala wine, sweet by the way, by this brand, Marsala, organic chicken stock, the olive oil, the mushrooms, and then the brown sauce that I have. I'm using a, you guys can cheat, my veal demi-glaze at the roasted veal bone demi-glaze at the restaurant. I'm using a turkey gravy to thicken. This is for flavor and to thicken it up. If you don't want to use this, you can use cornstarch, a little bit of cornstarch and water and put it in, or you can use flour. And when you put the flour in, see now the mushrooms are cooking. When the mushrooms are done, you push them to the side, a little bit of oil, you dump a little flour in, you mix it, it makes it kind of like a little roux. My favorite thing, I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to come out just like Gino's Trattoria, is you use this brown gravy right over here. Okay? So let me get a spoon, stay right there. Let's get these mushrooms cooking. They're going to cook pretty quick. I sliced them kind of thin, which is good. And you can see, you want to get them nice and soft. And once again, I said, I use a big enough pan that they're not crowded. It's very important. Now, I'm making a lot over here. So I'm going to show you one portion. One portion is once around. That's 2 pieces of chicken, 1/4 cup. But all that right there, I'm going to go. And the written recipe at the end is going to have for 1 portion or 2 portions. Like a 1/4 cup of marsala, 4 ounces of chicken stock, 4 ounces of brown sauce. Right now we're doing a lot. And I really want to teach you guys how to cook without measuring. The more and more you watch my videos, the more and more you practice, you'll do it without. Okay, so let's put everything back in. Now we're going to add our chicken stock. Once again, chicken stock for 1 portion is like 4 ounces, about that much. And then the brown sauce also, 4 ounce ladle right here. This is a 4 ounce full ladle is 1 portion, but we're making a lot. And then if you guys want, you can make extra sauce because you can cook pasta and then with extra sauce put it with pasta. Today we made some vegetables tonight. Alright, so now let's dump in that brown sauce, the brown gravy. Now once again, what I use at the restaurant is a roasted veal bone demi-glace, and it's amazing, and it gives a lot of flavor. We're going to let that cook. Hey everyone, we're gonna recap. This is done. I wish you could taste it. It is delicious. So I'm gonna add a little bit more parsley, just a little, because I love the color. Look how great that looks. Now, come up to me for a sec. Let's recap real fast. And at the end, there's gonna be a written recipe, how I cut the mushrooms, how I prepped the chicken with the flour and pounded it, how I sauteed it, but we're all done. And our ingredients, recapping once again. We started out, we cut our chicken, we pounded it, we floured, we cooked in the oil and took it out, dumped out the oil. Then we put a little bit new oil in and we sauteed the mushrooms. When the mushrooms were ready, we added, come over here, we added Marsala wine. Quarter cup for two, I'll give you for 2 portions instead of all this. Quarter cup, 4 ounces of chicken stock, 4 ounces of brown gravy that was over there, salt, black pepper, parsley, and you're done. And you let it cook, and then you got this. This took, once we added everything and we brought it to a boil, it takes about 10 minutes. At the restaurant, it takes like 3 or 4 minutes because they're 50,000 BTUs. But over here, depends on your kitchen. This is actually a pretty fast cooktop. It could take anywhere from 10 minutes to 15 minutes. You want to see how it's ready? It thickened up. Look how nice and thick it is. Watch this. See that? Yeah, that's how you can tell it's ready. And just by looking at it, look how nice that sauce is. Now, last tip. If it's too thick, you can add chicken stock to thin it out, because if you walk away and it gets too thick. If it's too thin, add a little more brown gravy. Now the 3 ways, once again, to thicken her is you can use flour, you can use cornstarch, or you can use the brown gravy that I use. There's all different ways of making Marsala sauce. This is the Gino Trattoria Marsala sauce. Enjoy, guys. I hope you make this, and this is one of my favorite dishes. Last story is, when I was like 6, 7 years old, let me shut this off, it's done. My father, some memories is like the little things are the best things. I remember when I was a little kid, getting ready for bed at 8, 9, 10 o'clock, going to school, and my dad would surprise us once in a while. I don't know why, but with this, I think this is his favorite. He would bring home like a family-sized tray, and me and my brother about to get into bed, and he would show up, say 9 o'clock from work, and we were all, our teeth were brushed, and it was just so great that my mom was like, no, it's late. And then we would eat chicken marsala, and I remember he used to bring the bread, the French bread from the restaurant, and dip it into the sauce. This sauce is amazing for the pasta and for dipping bread. So guys, I hope you like this dish, and I hope you make it. Enjoy. So guys, I butterflied the chicken, as you can see over here. 1 chicken breast gets 2 pieces. Now we're just gonna pound it thin and get it ready to a little flour and then to cook. All set. All right, so we dip the chicken and veal in flour, and we're sauteing it in oil. A couple minutes on each side, just to get it nice and brown. And then we're gonna take it out. We're gonna dump out this oil, keep the scrapings, and make the sauce. I'm gonna show you step by step everything else that's going on. All right. So then after we do this, I'll show you. Then we're going to start the recipe with an empty pan with, take out the oil with a little bit new oil or butter. I don't put, recipe calls for butter, but I don't put the butter. All right, so we'll put new oil, and then we'll put our marsala and all the rest of the steps. Then once we make the sauce, we add the veal and the chicken back in. So guys, we're cutting the mushrooms right now. You can get them pre-sliced. I don't mind cutting them. You don't want to cut them too thin like we do for the pizza. You want to cut them a little bit, thin, but not too thin, so. And these mushrooms usually come pre-washed. They go a little dirty, so I wash them a little bit and I dry them off, okay? You don't want to leave the mushrooms wet.